Hey, it's Corona time right now. Corona time. Hey, it's Corona time right now.
Welcome back to Get Well Soon, the Red Pill content of Welly F, aka Moriarty, where the mindset is you either die a villain or you live long enough to see yourself become a simp. Understand something. We are living in trying times at the moment. That is what the media wants you to believe. That is what they want you to react to. During these trying times, more than ever, you need to realize she is just bored. You do not need to entertain her. Right now, you probably realize your neighbors need help due to the lack of toilet paper and other goods, like I've talked about in Moriarty's Corner when I briefly discussed the fact that this recent quote unquote pandemic has created a mass hysteria that has people panic buying things that they may or may not need. It is too early to say. During all this, like I said, you need to understand something. Even with all these goods that are required and all these people that are in dire need for things of substance, understand women need attention now more than ever. They need you to confirm their existence. They need your male validation. They crave it, they lust for it. Nothing has changed, it has just been amplified. And if I've noticed anything in the last 10 years, the more and more women get a dopamine rush from the fact that they get to have constant interaction with male or female. It gives them something to live for. Just pay attention to your Twitter feed. Pay attention to your Instagram feeds, Facebook, or whatever. You are going to see that women love attention. This is not news to you, but you're seeing it in broad daylight. You have people like Vanessa Hudgens basically saying, we're all going to die anyway. And if you see the video, I don't know if she was high. I don't know if she was just lonely. But once again, this is very reminiscent of daddy issues. Somebody that's not getting the attention that they require. So what do now? They go to their next best option, virtual attention. She's talking to her followers, and I believe she said something along the lines of men don't need to be here. Of course men don't need to be here on your live feed, because you know men are going to give you a rational response to your mediocre take on what is going on today. You're not saying anything special. The only reason 70% of the people that were there because you are an attractive woman in their eyes. But we all know that Vanessa Hudgens just went to a recent breakup with a guy that pretty much, I guess, strung her along for 10 years. But obviously she wanted to be there, and that's on her. Accountability. But once again, just spouting off at the mouth about nonsense, saying nothing. Keri Hilson as well. Most of you probably know her as a one-hit wonder. Some of you probably know her as a woman that had beef with Beyonce. Some of you probably know her as somebody that dated Serge Ibaka. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure she's still single. I'm pretty sure she's bored, has nothing else to do but spout off conspiracy theories about COVID-19 and saying that it is 5G related. Once again, I don't have information on this. And as a rational male, I'm not going to jump into conclusions and say this or that. I just know one thing, that if I truly don't understand something, I'm going to keep on following it, keeping up with valuable sources or reliable sources, credible sources, before I make any real hypothesis. And of course, you have your TikTok retards licking toilets, calling it a coronavirus challenge. Have you ever noticed that most of these challenges are more along the lines to suit women getting attention? Women getting attention and little freaking kids. I even saw a makeup artist designing her dust mask to match the skin tone of her skin. And I imagine that she's getting an uptick in views right now because a lot of women are stuck in the house right now and they're trying to probably master the craft of deception, which is makeup. And I know you've seen that video that I posted too about the makeup artistry or the skill set of modern day makeup artists. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. We all know, well, my assumption off of this right now is lack of attention seems to encourage this type of behavior. And the reason that I'm pointing to women is because when I look at my news feed, that is what comes across my news feed the most. And I don't even follow these women. These women are just the ones that are doing the more ample, weird things to get this attention, to get this dopamine hit. Hey, look at me! Look what I can do amidst all this pandemonium and this, these crazy times. Look at me. People going out filming empty shelves. We get it. People have taken all the toilet paper. People have taken all the water. People are in a panic right now. That is what mass hysteria does. Like when you tell people to panic and they don't have the information on what they're fighting, like they don't have information that they can be confident in, they're going to panic and they're going to react in an irrational manner. Once again, you have to understand something, gentlemen. Lack of attention leads to boredom, especially if you have no skills, especially if you're not creative, especially if you're not an imaginative person. So I put this video up to say, once again, she is just bored. Do not entertain her. She'll call you. You know why? She doesn't have her coworkers to complain and bitch to. She doesn't have her coworkers to use as an emotional tampon. She doesn't have her work husband there to use as an emotional tampon. Now she can pretty much, because her work husband probably is in a relationship, probably is married, so she doesn't have access to him, so she can't call him. So who's she gonna call? She's gonna call you. She's going to call the next best simp on her list. There are no happy hours to go to in most places. In the area where I live, believe it or not, there are still bars open, and in the future I'll talk about how I feel about that. But for the most part, there are still bars open. I've seen a uptick in people, on the tracks, running the streets, getting fresh air, and I'm not opposed to that in any way. I do believe that, when it's all said and done, they put out a 6 feet rule. They're talking about don't be in large groups, but if you're constantly moving and you're outside, I don't really see how that's a problem. It's a lot of contradicting alternative facts, in my opinion, that have been applied to this whole COVID-19 mass hysteria. But once again, I'll probably talk about that in the future. But whatever. So once again, like I said, there are no happy hours to go to. Gyms are closed. And you have to understand something. With gyms being closed, that means the expensive yoga pants that she bought, she can't go show them off. The athletic boy shorts that she has, she can't go show off her ass cheeks. So yes, these people are talking about home gyms and things like that, but it's not going to last long, because gyms in the last 3 or 4 years have become almost social club-like environments. I'm going to say it again. Gyms have become the new clubs. That's why people like me tend to go to smaller gyms or tend to go to gyms that are way more low-key, based on the fact that your more mainstream gyms, your even your cheaper gyms like a Planet Fitness or a Fitness Connection or whatever, those gyms, they just come with crowds of people that are not really serious about lifting weights, and they're just there to congregate. And it's annoying. And once again, that is where women usually get their dopamine hit. And you have to understand something. Whether it's 15 seconds of a dopamine hit, whether it's an hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, at the end of the day, it all comes back to them posting their thotty pictures on social media. Just like if they were at a happy hour, showing off their expensive plates, or if they're at a brunch spot showing off that they're drinking mimosas. You got to understand something. When you're dealing with consumers, consumers like to be braggadocious. Consumers tend to be braggadocious. Consumers tend to they tend to want to display what they're consuming. What is the purpose of them truly consuming something as materialistic as those things that I mentioned if they're not going to show it off? So once again, I think that my advice to people, I think that a social media detox would deprive them of the attention. And I think a lot of red pill guys should go down that road of a social media detox, based on the fact that I guarantee you, women are going to become very annoying in these 2 weeks to a month. And also, you really aren't getting beneficial information from news sources right now. A lot of them are either making up crap, hoping something sticks, and they're repeating unreliable information. A lot of stuff is being suppressed right now. So if I were you, I just, hey, quarantine yourself, stay safe, stay away from people, do what you got to do in order to bring yourself back into a healthy mental balance. But just understand something. The main thing that you really, really need to get from this is don't be a simp. Don't become a simp because you have more access to bored women. Because a month from now, you will be tossed away like the tampon that you are. The social binge will begin. The clubs will be filled again. The brunch spots will be filled again. Gyms will be packed. The outside tracks and stuff will become empty again because, like I said, the gyms will be packed. You have to keep in mind, these are the same people that act like they cared about Nipsey Hussle, Kobe Bryant. They use those things to get attention, to be a part of the conversation. Now it's COVID-19. Understand, once the cue is lifted, you will be tossed aside like the tampon that you are. I need to repeat that because I know some people come and find red pill content just for that reinforced knowledge and just to confirm that they're not going crazy. But yes, once the cue is lifted, you will be tossed aside. Don't be a simp. Don't fall into your blue pill ways just because these women are bored and are pretending they need your attention. Because at the end of the day, she is just bored. You don't have to entertain her. But anyways, until we meet again.